Next, now let's move to the next rule. Next rule is saying whenever in a sentence not only will come, along with that the further but also should come. Whenever in a sentence not comes, then it is always followed by but. Whenever in a sentence only is coming, it is followed by also. Neither, nor, either, or. In all these cases, what is important is that first of all, you have to remember the connectors, because not only but also. Not but, only also. Neither, nor, either, or. These are the connectors which you need to learn. And second thing is that what the rule is saying, in the statement whenever they'll come, one subject will be with one connector and second subject will be kept with the another connector. In such case, verb will be followed by a second subject. Now, the verb will follow by second subject. So, we have to check this. For example, the sentence is given, not only students. After not only students is written, okay, fine. Noun is plural, not only students, but also the teacher. Now, teacher noun is singular, is highly eager to organize their annual function. Now, in this statement, not only students, but also the teacher. So, the verb is moving according to the second subject. That is why it is singular. So, not only students, but also the teacher is highly eager to organize their annual function. So, that means what? Whenever in a sentence, not only is coming. So, first thing we have to check that but also is coming or not. And second thing is that whichever verb is coming, that verb will behave according to the subject which is kept near to that but also or near to the second connector, and the verb will be singular over here because the noun is also singular. Now, this was the first thing that you should know about the sentence. Now, the second important thing, one more thing comes in it, is that he speaks not only German but also French with the proficiency. In this sentence, we have to see two things. Not only is there, but also is there. Now, with but also, if noun is kept, so it would be compulsory for you that with not only also, there should be a noun. If, for example, this sentence would be written like this, that sentence is written, he not only speaks German but also French with the proficiency. If this would be the sentence, then what is the mistake in this? Let's see. But also is coming. After but also, which part of speech is coming? Noun is coming. So it is compulsory that after not only also there should be a noun. But right now, with not only what is kept? Verb is kept. That means this statement is wrong right now. So what we'll do? We will take not only to this side and it should be now statement. He speaks German. He speaks not only German but also French. So if we write the sentence, it would be he speaks not only German but also French with the same proficiency. That means what? He speaks not only is also having one noun and but also is also having one noun. So always remember that in this case we have to see the two things in a correction. It can be in either of the way the correction can come. First thing is that with all such things the verb behaves according to the second subject, and second thing is that in case of such thing we have one subject 1 and the second thing subject 2 is kept. So with subject 2, whichever part of speech is kept, part of speech is kept. That same part of speech should come with subject 1 also. Same part of speech should come. This is compulsory. So let's take one example for that. Let's take Ganesh is not only Ganesh is not only involved in organizing conferences and seminars but also in conducting adult literary programs. Now in this statement, see it very carefully that but also is followed by one preposition and then after preposition there is gerund. So that means that there is one preposition and after preposition there is gerund, and you know what is gerund now? I have told you what is gerund. Gerund means verb ing form which behaves like noun, and generally it comes with the preposition. Now in the sentence Ganesh is not only, now see the not only is kept with involved, that is verb, but we want that it should come with what? It should come with the preposition plus noun. That means it should come with the gerund form. Now see, is there any gerund and ing form is kept? That means preposition is here, we can see, and we can see there is gerund also. So that means that this not only should come over here. So the sentence should be Ganesh is involved not only in organizing but also in organizing what? Organizing conferences and seminars, but also in conducting adult literary program. So we can see over here what we want to see, that not only is now with the in organizing, that means with the preposition and gerund, and but also is also with one preposition and gerund. So I hope this is clear that whenever in this case of not only or but also such kind of question comes, so please remember two things we have to check. The first thing is that with subject to verb follows, and second thing, whenever there are two subject, just check that the subject to whichever part of speech is there in the same part of speech should be with subject 1 also. I hope this is clear. Let's move to the next rule now. So let's move to the next rule and see what is there. Now the next rule says more than one. With more than one, noun is singular and the verb is also singular. So the pronoun is also singular, and with more, noun is plural, than one is written, then the verb is plural. Now what does it mean? Let's see. Whenever we talk about more than one, in this we are only talking about, in such a case we are only talking about one. That is why noun is singular, verb is singular and pronoun is also singular. More than one. That means we are not talking about more, we are only talking about than one. Now in the second sentence if we see, it is written more. That means we are talking about the plural form only. There is a lot of things are kept. That is why noun is plural. So along with the noun plural, the verb is also plural. So let's see an example to make it more clear. More than one successful candidate. More than one successful candidate. I am talking about over here only one. That is why candidate, noun is singular, has taken the interview for one of the popular magazines being published from Delhi. Now in this statement, more than one I am talking about, successful candidate, noun is singular, has taken, verb is also singular, taken what? The interview for one of the popular, see one of the is coming, so popular what magazines, noun is plural over here, being published from Delhi. So the rule says what? Whenever we are talking about more than one, in that case according to the one, noun should be singular and verb should be singular and the further pronoun should also be singular. That is why in case of more than one, don't get confused. We are not talking about more than, we are only talking about one in it. That is why noun is also singular and verb is also singular. In the second sentence, if we say we are talking about more, and more means what? More than one. That means it is more than one. So more teachers, noun is plural. Than one are absent today. That means we are not talking about any one. We are talking about more teachers. That is why the verb is plural over here. Is that clear? So what does it mean? That with more, we have to remember just after more if it is coming. So noun is plural and verb is also plural. Why? Because we are talking about more only, not any one. But in case of more than one, so in that case we ignore than one. We ignore this more than. We talk about one only. So according to one, noun should be singular and the verb should be singular. Because the verb is singular, so the pronoun should be singular. I hope this rule is clear to everyone. Let's move to the next rule. But before we move to the next rule, I can see the word over here as has taken the interview. Now, I want to discuss about this. This is one of the important things that you should know. What does mean by taking the interview? You go and give the interview or you take the interview? In the same way, you take the exam or you give the exam. You take the attempt or you give the attempt. Such kind of questions also come in the exam. So whenever you are going for the interview, it means that interview are always taken by us. I am going for the interview, then I'll say I am going to take my interview. And the interviewer will say I am going to give the interview. He is going to give and I am going to take. It is just opposite the way we say in Hindi. In Hindi what we say? मैं इंटरव्यू देने जा रही हूँ. ठीक है? But in English what we say? I'm going to take the interview. In examination also we say I'm going to take my exam. Take the exam. We always take examination. And being a examination is always taken. I take my examination. And the examinee will say I'm going to give the exam. Who will say this? Examinee. Clear? So remember this. I am going to accept. I am going to take the challenge. That is why we say we take the challenge. So such thing has come in the sentence. So I wanted to discuss. So let's move to the next slide now. The next rule says that imagination is always shown by verb. Imagination is always shown by verb means what? Whenever in a sentence we are talking about the thing which is not being done and we are only imagining that if this would have happened, if it would have happened, then the situation would be this. Then in that case, it is always written by verb. We never write was for it. For example, if the sentence is, were she a bird, she would definitely fly to you and say that she could not live without you. That means, were she a bird? Agar wo chidiya hoti. If she would be. It's not possible for her to be a bird. But there we are only talking about the imagination that if she would be. Then in that case, what would happen? She would have fly to you and she would say that she could not live without you. So that means in this statement, we are using what? Were she a bird? If the question comes like this, was she a bird? So was is wrong. We cannot write was. It should be were she a bird because here we are talking about only imagination. That is why. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now next is, let's take one more example. If I were you, I would do it. If I were you means if I would be on your place, I would have done this. If I would be on your place, that means I'm not on your place. I'm just imagining that if I would be on your place. So again, the imagination is coming. In every imaginative sentence, we use the word were. If I were you, I would have done it. I hope this is clear. So let's move to our next slide. Before we move to the next slide, please remember that with imagination, always use were. So now next slide is here. Next rule, if two singular nouns are joined by an, used for the one person, thing or criteria, takes the verb singular. That means if two singular nouns are joined by an, see here, and is used. So this means this word is important. Used for one person means same person or same thing or talking about the same criteria. Then it takes the verb singular. Clear? Now, let's take the example for this. Milk and sugar is a nourishing food for us. Milk and sugar is a nourishing food for us. Why I am saying is, why can't we say are? Because in this statement, milk and sugar both are going to show what? Both are used for showing the nourishment of the food. That means we are talking about the nourishment of the food in this. That is why we are using the verb singular over here. That means milk and sugar is a nourishing food for us. Now let's take one more example for this. Let's take one more example. Patience and perseverance. Perseverance is also the meaning of patience only. Patience and perseverance are necessary for success. Patience and perseverance are necessary for success. Now here and is coming, and patience and perseverance both are talking about what? Necessary for what? For the success. So that means we will not write are, it should be is. Patience and perseverance is necessary for success. Now let's move to the next rule. Now next rule says that if two singular nouns are joined by and, preceded by the article, then it's used for two different people or person, thing or criteria, then the verb should be plural. Now what does it mean? If in any sentence two subjects are joined by and in that case when it is joined by and, both the nouns are singular and they both are talking about both are talking individually by the help of any article, then in that case verb should be plural. Let's take one example. President. The president, this is important to learn. Article is there. The president and the secretary. Again the is coming before that. The secretary were absent during the meeting. The president and the secretary were. Why we are writing verb plural? Because president and secretary both are different people. How we came to know? Because we are talking about the article the in it. If in place of this, the sentence would be the president and, imagine that this the was not there. The president and secretary were. So in that case also, this will not be the were, it will become was. Why? Because there won't be the. So it is compulsory that in each and every sentence, the article should be present with and, then only it will show that we are talking about two different people, and then only the verb is going to be singular. So this was the thing which we have to taken, and let's see for the next slide. That means we are done with everything, and these all are the things which you need to learn in syntax. I hope this is clear now. The questions based on this generally comes in SSC, and this is one of the most important chapter of SSC. So please make it clear that you understand it by heart. Don't ratify all the formulas. Just you need to understand the concept, what concept has been used in each and every rule. Thank you so much. We'll meet soon with the next session.